1974 and 1986, California was gripped by fear as the Golden State Killer, a serial killer and rapist, eluded capture. Joseph James DeAngelo, the perpetrator, nearly escaped justice for his heinous crimes. The Golden State Killer's reign of terror in California during the 1970s and 1980s. He committed over 50 rapes and 12 murders. For over 4 decades, these heinous crimes remained unsolved. However, on June 29, 2020, a breakthrough occurred. Joseph DeAngelo pleaded guilty to 26 charges related to the rape and murder spree. He was charged with 13 counts of murder with special circumstances and 13 counts of kidnapping and robbery. While the statute of limitations had expired for the numerous rapes he was accused of, DeAngelo received 11 consecutive life sentences for the crimes he admitted to. He also received an additional life sentence and 8 years, ensuring that he will spend the rest of his life behind bars. A killer is born. Joseph James DeAngelo was born on November 8, 1945, in Bath, New York. He spent his formative years in the Sacramento suburbs, attending Folsom High School. After his mother remarried, he moved to Auburn with her and joined the military service. DeAngelo served in the Navy during the Vietnam War for approximately 22 months. He returned home as a decorated veteran, receiving the National Defense Service Medal, Vietnam Service Medal, and the Vietnam Campaign Medal. After his stint in the military, he attended Sierra College from 1968 to 1970. In 1971, he enrolled at California State University, Sacramento. He graduated in 1972 and served as a police officer in Exeter from 1973 to 1976, and in Auburn from 1976 to 1979. His employment at the latter department ended after he was accused of stealing a hammer and dog repellent from a Citrus Heights drugstore. Prior to this incident, DeAngelo appeared to be a respectable individual. In 1973, the Exeter Sun described him as follows: DeAngelo believes that law and order are essential for government, and that democracy is necessary for freedom. He views law enforcement as his career and his role as serving the community. Ironically, DeAngelo's background in criminal justice, familiarity with police procedures, and military experience in Vietnam may have enhanced his abilities as a serial killer. His career in law enforcement. DeAngelo joined the Exeter Police Department in 1973. Prior to his employment in Exeter, he may have had an internship or volunteer experience with the Roseville Police Department, although no official records exist. In 1973, DeAngelo married Sharon Marie Huddle. A neighbor described him as pleasant and well-groomed in his youth, but noted that he lost part of a finger during his military service. Crimes of the Golden State Killer. The Visalia ransacker, 1974 to 1975, burglarized over 100 homes in Visalia, California, stole small items, leaving behind valuables, scattered women's underwear throughout the homes, and may have been responsible for a murder during this period. The East Area Rapist, 1976 to 1978, terrorized the Sacramento area with a series of rapes. The assailant targeted single women in single-story homes near escape routes. The masked invader frequently infiltrated homes prior to the crime, meticulously observing his target's habits to memorize their routines. He would then leave restraints for later use and disable any firearms he discovered, as well as unlocking sliding glass doors or windows. His modus operandi later evolved to targeting couples. Size 9 footprints were frequently found at the crime scenes of the Golden State Killer and East Area Rapist. Upon waking his victims with a gun and flashlight aimed at their faces, he would tightly bind the hands of his targets. He would then force the man to lie face down, placing dishes on his back, warning that he would kill everyone in the house if the dishes rattled. This was followed by the repeated rape of the woman. He narrowly evaded capture once, escaping on a bicycle, a favorite method of his. The assaults in that region seemed to cease by 1979. At the time, the Visalia ransacker and East Area Rapist, both labels coined by the media, were believed to be distinct individuals. Law enforcement too saw no significant connections. However, they would all be equally perplexed by the emergence of the original Night Stalker, a moniker given to a seemingly new assailant in Southern California in 1979. These incidents echoed the East Area Rapist attacks in some ways, but concluded with the victims being bludgeoned or shot. At least 10 individuals fell victim to the original Night Stalker. It wasn't initially apparent that the three criminals could be one and the same, but at several of these crime scenes, ligatures and similarly sized shoe prints were discovered. Additionally, threatening phone calls were made to both victims and police. Unfortunately, DNA evidence was not yet standardized and comprehended at that point in time. Early clues pointing to the identity of the Golden State Killer. In 1983, 3 years after the final original Night Stalker murder, Joseph DeAngelo began employment as a truck mechanic at a Save Mart distribution center in Roseville. He remained in this position for 27 years, retiring in 2017, shortly after the FBI intensified its investigation into the Golden State Killer. Prior to his arrest, DeAngelo resided in Citrus Heights. Neighbor Corey Harvey recalled that he lived with his daughter and granddaughter. Harvey expressed surprise at his arrest, having known him only as Joe, an elderly man who enjoyed fishing in his retirement. While Harvey portrayed Joe as a pleasant grandpa, other neighbors witnessed a different side of him. Natalia Batis Correnti, a nearby resident, recalled, "We called him Freak because of his frequent temper tantrums, which seemed to stem from self-frustration." Eddie Verdon, another neighbor, shared an unsettling encounter with Joseph DeAngelo. "I caught him prowling on my property and felt uneasy about him for a long time," he said. Unveiling the East Area Rapist and original Night Stalker. Over the years, detectives suspected a connection between homicides in Southern California and the East Area Rapist. However, without fingerprints or DNA evidence, they lacked conclusive proof. In 2001, DNA testing established a link between the East Area Rapist and the original Night Stalker. Prior to this, police relied solely on sketches based on victim descriptions. Despite potential suspects emerging over the decades, dead ends arose due to deaths or DNA exonerations. In 2018, advancements in genealogy services enabled authorities to narrow their search. Using DNA from crime scenes, they created a profile on GED Match, a database that facilitated efficient identification. In April 2018, Joseph DeAngelo's name emerged as a potential suspect. Detectives collected DNA from his car's door handle, which matched evidence from crimes committed in the 70s and 80s. Michelle McNamara, author of I'll Be Gone in the Dark, had predicted that DNA would ultimately lead to the killer's capture. Her intuition proved correct. "We found the needle in the haystack right here in Sacramento," said District Attorney Marie Schubert after DeAngelo's arrest. DeAngelo is brought to trial. Despite crimes occurring in multiple counties, he faced trial for multiple murders in a single proceeding. During the pre-trial hearing, Judge White allowed the DNA evidence and granted the prosecution's request for additional DNA samples from DeAngelo. In January, the court entered a not guilty plea on DeAngelo's behalf and denied the defense's request for more time to gather evidence before the trial. Indeed, the case of the Golden State Killer, also known as Joseph James DeAngelo, has been a long and harrowing journey for both the victims and the justice system. The COVID-19 pandemic certainly added an unexpected delay to the proceedings, but the trial eventually moved forward, leading to DeAngelo's guilty plea for 13 counts of murder and 13 counts of kidnapping in June. In August, DeAngelo received multiple life sentences, ensuring that he will never be released from prison. This outcome is a testament to the resilience of the victims and their families, who have endured decades of fear and uncertainty. The courtroom testimonies from the victims and their loved ones were powerful and emotional, providing a glimpse into the lasting impact of DeAngelo's heinous crimes. The Golden State Killer case has captured the attention of the nation, and it serves as a reminder of the importance of justice and the relentless pursuit of criminals, no matter how much time has passed. It is also a reminder of the strength and courage of the victims and their families, who have found the strength to speak out and seek justice, even after so many years. the life sentences handed down to Joseph James DeAngelo ensure that the Golden State Killer will never be able to harm anyone again. The victims and their families can now begin to heal, knowing that justice has been served. I'd like to take this time to pay my respects to the victims and all the families that were affected by these heinous crimes. You deserve better and are forever in our prayers. The victims they know about: Claude Snelling and daughter Catherine Domingo Snelling. December 27, 1975, Rancho Cordova, California. The Snellings were found dead in their home, both shot multiple times. Lyman Smith and Charlene Smith. March 18, 1978, Ventura, California. The Smith couple was found dead in their home, both shot multiple times. Brian Maggiore and Katie Maggiore. February 2, 1979, Goleta, California. The Maggiore couple was found dead in their home, both stabbed multiple times. Bella Whitten. June 28, 1979, Dana Point, California. Whitten was found dead in her home, strangled and stabbed multiple times. Sherry Domingo and Gregory Sanchez. July 15, 1979, Goleta, California. Domingo and Sanchez were found dead in their home, strangled and stabbed multiple times. Janelle Lisa Cruz. May 4, 1986. Irvine, Orange County, California. She was just 18 years old at the time. Was alone in her home when she was attacked and bludgeoned to death. Robert Offerman and Alexandria Offerman. January 30, 1980, Goleta, California. The Offerman couple was found dead in their home, both shot multiple times. Conclusion. Death, the ultimate enigma, casts its somber shadow upon all living beings. It is a profound and universal experience that transcends time, culture, and circumstance. The tragedy of death lies not only in the physical separation it brings, but also in the profound emotional and existential implications it carries. It also robs us of the physical presence of our loved ones. Their laughter, their touch, their unique perspectives are forever extinguished. The void left behind is immense, creating a gaping hole in our hearts and lives. The absence of their physical form becomes a constant reminder of their departure, leaving us with a sense of emptiness and longing. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more Killer Cliff Notes, and I'll see you in the next one.